Good afternoon, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Councillors and Wujal Aboriginal Shire Council's Executive Leadership Team. This afternoon I'd just like to take this opportunity to present to you a proposal for implementing a Project Management Office PMO within our council organisation, primarily to manage our $13.9 million targeted assistance package for rebuilding community assets after Tropical Cyclone Jasper in 2023. This would, of course, include the $8.5 million set aside for Art Centre, rebuilding at our new selected location, and flood repairs like the Splash Park, Southside football fields, the hall, sports hall refurbishments, the selection of a new location out of the floodplain for the kids pump track, and basically what that would look like. So I'll explain why we need the PMO and its benefits and challenges briefly, the resources it needs, and what it would look like to implement it. So why do we need a PMO? Our recent review showed that our council struggles with limited staff, weak procurement, and all the other layers of complexity. For example, ILUA, Indigenous Land Use Agreement talks for projects like the Art Centre and other projects within Wujal. The PMO, using a system called PMBOK, short for Project Management Book of Knowledge, would organise all projects clearly and efficiently through their 10-step management plan. It would help us finish the Art Centre, community garden, the hall and other prior mentioned projects on time and within budget. It would also train our team for better skills and ensure we meet funding rules, making our projects smoother and our community stronger. Obviously, with the implementation of any new program within an organisation does present some challenges. Some of those could be our small team might find the PMO processes challenging. Some might resist that change. Another one is our remote location makes hiring skilled workers hard. Wet season rains could delay construction. ILUA discussions, if they're not handled correctly, there is potential for those to fall over and cause significant delays that could even potentially jeopardise funding security for the duration needed to complete those projects. So the PMBOK plan, risk management plan, would help us identify all those risks and mitigate them. So just to focus on our resources, within the target assistance package, there is contingency there for multiple different funding for our needs to help deliver this project. We would plan to use roughly $1.1 million of that funding from the $13.9 million budget. From that, we would hire a project manager, $240,000 for 2 years, mind you. A procurement officer for roughly $200,000 over 2 years. We'd spend roughly $500,000 on equipment for those repairs, including perhaps a telehandler and other site-specific pieces of equipment that could be justified because of our remote location and lack of actual available contractors. For instance, perhaps a telehandler or that kind of machinery. $50,000 on staff training to help bring all our staff up to speed with the PMBROC program, and to accompany that, 10,000 on different project management software, and finally $100,000 to assist the PMO with their community workshops, including bringing all the relevant traditional owners and other parties within to community to a centralised location, providing catering, potentially bringing in TOs from different parts of country as well, which does increase the cost to be able to provide that service to them. So now I'd like to move on to, obviously, the PMO was successfully implemented, and we've had now the time to have a post-mortem and see what worked and what didn't. And we can clearly see that the PMO really effectively helped to create clear processes, timely delivery, and it definitely improved our staff training, their skills, making our work smoother. Community workshops sped up the ILUA approvals, most definitely. So all in all, it was very well worth doing, including that implementation of the knowledge management system, of which we'll reap the benefit for many years to come. Things that didn't work, obviously it's challenging for staff to adopt new processes at times, but I think with how clearly the structure of implementation was, and just how the project management book of knowledge just has so much depth for basically tackling all the different challenges that are associated with implementing something like that, are so clearly laid out that ultimately those challenges were overcome. Obviously, there was challenges with wet season delays and things like that, but those were risks that were identified and that we managed to work around, what have you. And so basically, in conclusion, we can fairly well say that it was definitely successful, and it's created fantastic examples which are now well documented, and give us a model with our own processes of how we can streamline in future another temporary, or as community grows, perhaps even a permanent project management office within our council organisation. And with that, I'd like to close out and thank you everyone for taking the time to listen. And I hope I was effective in presenting the proposal for implementation and the brief post-mortem analysis on how well the implementation of the PMO office worked for Wujal Wurrung Aboriginal Shire Council. Thank you very much.